Hello guys, welcome. I'm excited to be sharing with you the new OPI Downtown LA Fall Collection for 2021. This collection was sent to me by Beyond Polish. I just love that company so much. I talk about them all the time, but they're just so great to work with, and I'm happy to be able to be a part of their team, essentially. I will have affiliate links for all of these. You can get them now at Beyond Polish. I wasn't super excited when I saw the pictures of this collection, but when I got it in the mail, every color I was like, oh, they're all types of colors that I love to wear during the fall. I know there's going to be a few that are close to other colors that you've seen maybe in the OPI's line or in Essie's line or some other brands, but they are slightly different. So I know there's a few of you that can really appreciate that, and some people who are like, oh, that's exactly the same. So we're going to talk about those differences for each one. I have some really great comparisons. I love the cohesiveness of this collection. I love the polishes together. The shimmers, there's 3 shimmers, and I like them a lot because they're not metallic. I don't like metallic polishes. You guys know that about me. But I do like a good shimmer that's not like glittery. So these are just so cool. They remind me of the DS line that OPI had a while back, and I have a few of those, and so they're just, I don't know, they're not really glittery sparkly, they're just kind of shimmery but subtle and cool. So we'll talk about those also, but the majority of them are creams. Let's get into it. This first one up is pink on canvas, and the P is in parentheses, and so it's kind of like ink on canvas. I know this is like a contemporary downtown LA vibe, and so this one's really cool, and I really like that name. It goes along with the theme well, and it's a beautiful soft baby pale pink. It's kind of a nudie pink, and it's a little bit muted. The formula on this is just fantastic. There were a few fingernails that I thought I would have to do 3 coats on, so just keep that in mind, but with these lighter colors sometimes that's just how it is, but I liked the formula on this one. It's really, really great. I love OPI's formula. I love their fall collections and their winter collections. The polishes are just so smooth and silky, and they really have been doing this a long time, and they know what they're doing. I really thought this would be exact to another color that I have in the OPI line, but it's really not. A lot of the ones that are this tone are either more purple or they're more brown, and this one's more of a muted pink. I did compare it to I'm an Extra, and that's more of a brown tone nude, and then Into a Bliss is more pink nude, but it's along that same color tone, and so that's not exactly the same. It's pretty close to Another Romantic Evening from a previous OPI collection, but that one's more pink, but they're very, very close, I would say. So if you have that one, you might not need this one, but this one is really, really good. I wouldn't say it's like completely unique, but it's a great polish. If you don't have one like this in your collection, it's a more muted pink, which is really appropriate for fall. It's not as bright as some of the other pinks that OPI and Essie have. The next one up is Graffiti Sweetie, and I love that name, and I love this polish. It's a beautiful lavender shade. It almost leans slightly periwinkle, but not like totally periwinkle. It's got a hint of blue in there as well, and it's really got quite a bit of white, so it's lighter, but it also has a muted quality, so it makes me feel like it has some grays in there. Getting real into talking about colors, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So the formula on this one is going to be opaque in 2 coats. It's really fantastic. Like I said, it's really consistent with OPI's formula. You may need to do 3, it's just really going to depend on your application. Okay, so let's talk about comparisons. I didn't find anything in OPI's line that was like exact as this, and so here they are right here. So I'm Gown for Anything, which is a polish that I really love. It's lighter, it's more spring-like, so it's got more white in it, and the color tone's more pink. A lot of the other OPIs that I have were quite a bit more purple than this one. So I did compare it to Essie Just the Way You Arctic. That is very, very close, like almost exact. Maybe that one is just a touch darker than this. And then the closest OPI that I found to it in my collection is Audio Bad Nails Chow Great Nail. But that one's a little bit darker, and of course that one has that shimmer in it, and that was one of my favorite polishes from last year. That one is so good, you guys. And this one's just a little bit of a lighter quality, but it's still muted, so that's what I think makes it really appropriate for fall. So I really liked this one too, you guys, and look how pretty these look together. Just so cute. Okay, the next one we have is OPI Heart DTLA, so Downtown LA. I love this one, you guys. Oh, this is so good. We might have to take a minute of silence for this one too. I think every year I'm gonna have to pick my favorite spring, summer, and fall and winter favorite for the year instead of just like one overall for the year, because this just may be my favorite fall polish. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to start that. But this one is so pretty. It's a beautiful blue with a touch of purple, and like I said, like the other ones, it's got that same muted quality. I think that's why these look so fantastic together, because they're all a little bit muted and in that same kind of tone. The formula on this one is fantastic. You're going to get it opaque in, I want to say 2, maybe 1, but most likely 2. I think it looks better with 2 coats, so I'm going to say 2 for this one. And I can't remember what I recorded for my live swatch, but you'll be able to see that. Okay, so I compared this one to Winning Streak, and that one is more purple and a little bit darker. Then I also compared it to Tone Down. That one's close, but it has more gray. In fact, a lot of those other ones that I thought might be close to it, like Anchors Down and everything, had more of like a different color tone than this one. This one has more purple and a little bit blue. And then I also compared it to Less is Norse, and that one is quite a bit darker, but it's the same kind of color family. That is one of my favorite fall polishes ever, you guys. It is so good. So I love that this one's kind of along that same line, but lighter. I like it better. I don't know if it's just because it's new, but I like it better than any of those in that kind of color range. So it's perfect. And it's a perfect like transition color for summer to fall as well. And then you can just get darker as it gets closer to winter. You need this one. You do. This one's called My Studios on Spring. This is so beautiful, you guys. It's the perfect green for fall, you guys. Oh, it's so good. I love the color tone. It's like a teal, but it's not as blue. It leans a little bit more green, and it has that same muted quality that I talked about before. It is fantastic. The formula is fantastic. You're gonna get this opaque in 2 coats. So I compared this to Amazon Amazoff, and that is a beautiful polish that I haven't put on in a while, and that was from the Brazil collection quite a few years ago. I think it was like 2015 or something. That's very close to this one in color tone, but it's not as muted as this. It's a little bit brighter. I think that was like a summer release, so it's more of a summery green, but it was kind of close to that one. This one's a little bit more muted though, so I think it's more appropriate for fall. And then I compared it to Is That a Spear in Your Pocket? And that one's more blue, and it's got a brightness to it, and that's a bit of a summery color as well. And then I compared it to Drama at La Scala, and that one I believe was from last year's release, and that one's darker and almost looks navy compared to these. So this one's definitely unique. I think it is kind of close to Amazon Amazoff, but I think a lot of you are not going to have that polish, and of course this one's more muted, so this is a definitely must-have in my opinion. I would snag it up. This next one is Espresso Your Inner Self. I know a lot of you are going to say another brown, because there were some browns in their summer release, but I love a good brown, especially in the fall, and the color tone of this one is really, really cool. So this is a brown. It's got a little bit of yellow. I think it leans a little bit more red, and so it's a little bit warmer than some of the other OPIs that I usually wear in the fall. OPI has a lot of browns, which I really love. Essie has a few, and so this one was different than all the other ones that I saw in OPI's line, and we'll talk about those in a second. But the formula on this one is really fantastic. It's going to be opaque in 2 beautiful coats, and like I always say, OPI's formulas are just so beautiful and silky. Okay, so let's talk about those comparisons that we have. Squeaker of the House, I love that one, is cooler and more muted. And then compared to Cliffside Karaoke, which is a newer release, that one's a touch warmer and more yellow based. It maybe has a little bit green in it, and this has a little bit of red. Okay, if you're looking at them from a distance, they're probably going to look quite a bit the same. So I want you guys to be able to appreciate the differences that I'm talking about, because some of you are going to say they're exactly the same, and some of you are going to be able to see the differences. So I'll just let you guys decide how close you think they are just by looking at my pictures. So that's what Friends Are For. I love that one too. That's a darker brown, and so I just wanted to throw that in there so you could see how it was compared to a polish that's a little bit darker than this one, just so you could see how light it was. So I really did love this one. I actually like it better than Cliffside Karaoke, just the color tone of it. It has a little bit more red in it, which is a little more appealing on my skin tone. I really liked this one. I'll definitely wear it this fall. This next one is Violet Visionary. It's a beautiful purple. I know you guys are gonna say there's a lot of purples like this, and there kind of are. This one is just really pretty. My favorite time to wear purple is in the fall. I just really love purple in the fall. It's my favorite. I don't wear purple often. In the summer I do once in a while. These bright purples, I just like them for fall. I'm gonna say that one more time. Just so you guys know that. It has a fantastic formula. It's going to be opaque in 1 to 2 coats. It's just so good. So how can I not like it when the formula is so great? Let's talk about those comparisons though, so you guys can see just how close it is. So I compared it to Mariachi Makes My Day. I didn't write the whole name down. I think that's what it's called. And that one's more blue toned. And then Berlin the Club, that was a new release from Essie this last year. And it's the closest, but that one's maybe a touch more purple. But that one's pretty close. So if you grab that one, you might not need this one. And it might be fun for you to pull that one out for the fall. And Dutcha Just Love OPI, that of course has shimmer in it and it's slightly more red. But that was kind of the closest one, the closest color tone that I had from a polish from OPI. So I just wanted to let you guys see that. So if you like that one, you'll probably like this one because it's about the same kind of tone. It's a purple and it's not super unique, but if you don't have one like this, it's a good time to pick it up. And I just have to say, before we move on, look how beautiful those look together, you guys. Isn't that just like the most amazing color palette? Now we're gonna get into some darker polishes and some of the shimmers. Okay, this next one is 7th and Flower, and that name is so cute. I love it. I love these kind of berry tones in the fall, and I love to do kind of the brighter ones the beginning of fall as we transition from summer, and then the darker ones as we get into fall to winter. I wouldn't say this one is super unique. There's a lot of polishes out there like this, so you might not need this one, but this one has a really, really great formula. It's gonna be opaque in 1 to 2 coats. Nothing else to say about the formula because it's just so good, you guys. And let's talk about those comparisons so you can see if you really need it or not. So I compared it to Miami Beat. That one's darker and a little bit more red. Spare Me a French Porter is very close, almost exact. Hurry Juku Get This Color is more purple. So on the nail, these gradually get more purple. So it's not too original, but I think it's a really great staple to have if you don't have a color like this in your collection. I didn't compare it to any Essies. I know Essie has a lot of these colors that are maybe more darker and more red toned for fall, but as far as OPI goes, they definitely have colors like this. Next we have Art Walk in Susie's Shoes, and it's another red. Yay! It's a really fun kind of orange leaning red, which I really like to wear. It reminded me of Color Binge a little bit, but I think this one's a little bit more red, so I didn't do a comparison to that one. So these are my favorite ones to wear. I love orangey reds in the fall. I don't know, it's a red. It's got kind of a corelli-ish formula, which is pretty nice, but it's going to take maybe 3 coats to build up where you can't see your nail line. So it's one of those kind of finishes, but it's going to look kind of jelly and squishy on the nail, which is kind of fun. And so I compared it to a lot of those with kind of a similar formula, and let's talk about those. So I compared it to Red Heads Ahead. That one, wow, the formula on that one is so good, you guys. When I put that on, I was like, I need to wear this one more. That one is more red and it's more opaque, so it's not as curly as this one. And then To the Mouse House We Go and My Wish List Is You. Those two are pretty much identical to each other, and those had more orange than Art Walk in Susie's Shoes. And so I feel like it's kind of in between Red Heads Ahead and then those other two. So it has a little bit of orange, but not too much. So I don't know. There's your comparisons for the red. You guys know how much I love doing comparisons for reds. It's just another red. Basically, that's kind of how I feel about red, but it's really beautiful. Then we're going to talk about Isn't It Grand Avenue. This is so beautiful. I love navy. It's basically just a navy, you guys, but it does lean more purple. And so I really couldn't find anything exact to this. I found something really close. I'll talk about it in a second, but the formula is just so good. It's going to be opaque in 1 to 2 coats, and there's not much else to say about it. So I'm going to talk about these comparisons, and there are going to be slight differences that you're going to be able to see under bright light, but if they're just all on the nail and you're sitting at home, they're going to all look exactly the same. So just as you get into darker polishes, you're not going to be able to see those subtle differences as much, so just keep that in mind. If you have a good navy, you might not need this one, but oh, the formula is so good, you guys. But I don't know, it does have more purple in it, so that makes me want to say, yeah, you should get it. So I don't know, I'll let you decide how you spend your money. But let's talk about those closely here. So I compared it to Booties on Broadway, and that's probably the closest, but this one maybe had a touch more purple than that, and you'll be able to see that. And then After School Boy Blazer is definitely darker, and then My Fave Gal Pal is lighter and more corelli finish. So there's not huge differences, but I could see a slight difference just to think where, and I really love this one a lot. Okay, so now we have the 3 shimmers left. This next one is Angel Flights to Starry Nights, and it is beautiful. I love this kind of blue color tone in the fall. It's my favorite. It totally reminded me of Butter London's All Hail the Queen, and I don't have that one anymore. I believe that one's more of gray and more muted, and this one's a little bit brighter blue. But oh, I cannot wait to wear this one, you guys. It's gonna be so good. You guys know I don't love shimmer, but these are like that DS formula. I like it. It's not super glittery, but it's just kind of shimmery, and then the shimmers in it give it like this nice silvery flash, which I actually really like. And so I'm excited about this one. It's got a fantastic formula. It's going to build up in 2 coats. Did I do comparisons to the? I did not. I did not do comparisons for this because basically I have nothing like it, and the color tone, it's a cooler blue. You can see it here. It's probably showing up a little more periwinkle than it is. It's a little bit more gray, but it's just good, and there's nothing like it. So get it. And then we have metallic composition, and this one just kind of blew me away too. You guys, I was not excited about the shimmers when I first saw this collection. I was like, oh, they're all shimmers, but they weren't. And 3 are, and they're just shimmers without a lot of metallic quality to them. This one maybe has a little bit of metallic quality, but not as much as some of the other ones that OPI has come out with. And the color tone's a little bit different. It's more of a rose gold, and the formula is really fantastic. This one's going to build up in 2 coats as well. And when you put that top coat on, it's just so beautiful. So the color tone's a little bit different than the ones that I have. I compared it to Worth a Pretty Penny, and that one's more golden, but it has a very pretty similar formula. So if you liked that one and you want something that's a little bit more pink and rosy, you're really going to like this one. And then Made It to the 7th Hill. That one has kind of a metallic and iridescent look to it and an interesting formula, and that one's a little bit streaky, which I really don't love. Beat of the Moment, I just threw that in there too, and that's more of a really glittery pink. I just wanted you to see it compared to that different color tone. There are the comparisons for this one, and it's really good too. This next one is Abstract After Dark. It's just a beautiful shade. I love that it says After Dark because it's kind of like a nod to Lincoln Park After Dark, and I believe the color tone and the base is similar to that one, which I really, really loved. I love when they connect things to each other. And then it's got this beautiful shimmer in there. It flashes from gold to green to blue and purple, and I really like it. On the nail, those navy flecks really stand out, so it makes it look a little bit more navy, but the base of it's a little bit more purple. But anyway, which is kind of interesting. I think it's going to look different in different lighting, and that's really what's going to be cool about this one. So I liked it. So I compared it to Nessie Plays Hide and Seek, and that one has blue purple, and the green shimmers kind of really strong in that one, and it has a blue base to it. So that one's a little bit different. And then I compared it to Hot Tub. I love that polish. I didn't get it when it was originally released. I got it a few years later because I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I ended up getting it, and I'm happy that I did. I love that polish. It's got a black base, and it's got that purple shimmer in there, which is a little stronger. And I just love that one. I probably like it better than this one here, just because of the color tone of it. And then Give Me Space is definitely more blue. I just wanted you to see it compared to that one. So those are the comparisons for this one. I really do like it though, but if I had to choose between this one and Hot Tub, I would definitely think I would pick Hot Tub. But this one's cool too. Okay, so I believe that's all of them. What did you guys think about that collection? I'm gonna have to really pick my favorites here. Oh, it's gonna be hard. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm picking all of these just because I know some are similar, but I just love them all together, so I have to pick them. I really like the rose gold shimmer, but I don't wear those as often as I think I do, so I'm not putting that in. But if you love shimmers, you're gonna love that one. I'm just gonna limit myself to 6. That's half the collection. That's pretty good. Okay, so we've got this one here, the lighter one called Pink on Canvas. Then I have the shimmery one called, I don't know the names all yet, Angel's Flight to Starry Nights. And then the brown, I really loved the brown, Espresso Your Inner Self. And of course I love the green, My Studios on Spring, and then this purple one, OPI DTLA, and then Graffiti Sweetie. So those are my favorites. Look how beautiful. It gets me excited for fall. Even though some are similar, I'd still want them. Hopefully you found that helpful and you can decide what you want to purchase. Let me know down below what you think you might purchase, and I will have links down below to that entire collection so you can check it out. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate when you shop off my affiliate links and watch my videos and comment on my Instagram. I just really, really appreciate you guys. We'll see you for my next review.